right here on Fox 14. A full hour of Family Feud this morning at 8 on Fox 14.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, Pitt State hosted an FBLA competition yesterday. We'll hear more about how the event shapes tomorrow's leaders.
Also, the Carthage City Council is looking into censoring one of its own members.
And we've got ourselves another foggy start to our morning out there. Another foggy day. In fact, today, almost a carbon copy of yesterday. A look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. Just after 7 a.m. on this Wednesday morning, we got that fog out there again, but at least the both of us were able to find the station this morning.
Luckily.
Yeah. There's one of these mornings, it's gonna happen where we're gonna pass it, we're gonna realize we passed it, we're gonna turn around and still not be able to find it, and then we're gonna have to call in because I can't find the station. That's got to be, that will be a very interesting and unique excuse to the bosses. I couldn't find the office.
Yeah, I'm sure our director will love to hear that.
Oh, I'm sure that they really enjoyed hearing that nobody could make it up here Monday with the ice. So
yes.
I'm sure they'd enjoy saying we can't find the building. Well, we're shaping some future leaders out there.
Yes, high school students from Kansas came to Pitt State yesterday for a district FBLA competition. FBLA, stands for Future Business Leaders of America.
And as if that wasn't enough acronyms, KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on what the event offers for students.
The Girard High School FBLA hosted 16 Kansas high schools at the district FBLA competition. Students compete in a variety of fields, from graphic design, event planning, and broadcast journalism, which was judged by our very own Tanya Bach.
Which the judges are there to help them improve their skills, not looking to figure out who are you not going to hire for the job.
I think that it's so important to develop these qualities early on in life, and I think that it will help prepare myself for the future.
When not competing, students were able to sit in on different seminars hosted by Kansas Works, a local workforce organization.
We feel like that we want to help them get as prepared as we can for the adult world. Transitioning out from high school into the real world can be kind of scary, and so to have that guidance and to help.
Students at the event say it is a great way to learn more about the workforce.
This is something that I can take on to something all the way into my future, whether it be a job or class or a leadership opportunity I have.
They have to learn to think on their feet. Everybody who's competing today is improving their presentation skills. There's public speaking events.
Organizers say the most important thing about the competition was that students were able to grow as individuals.
A little bit more confidence. They hold their head a little bit higher. They're a little bit more comfortable in any situation that at the beginning of the day they would have shied away from, but they're ready to go after it now.
In Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
There were a total of 395 students from 16 schools competing.
It's a very important program to help shape future leaders, and it's important to get those kids out there because I'm going to be honest with you, I've told you before, I hate public speaking. I can do this all day because I'm talking to you and to this little round thing in front of me. But if you put me in front of a crowd, it's a totally different story. Very totally different story.
I understand.
I don't do it at all. But what we can do, since there's not a crowd in here, if we had a live audience too, that'd go south in a hurry. We can talk about the fog that we're seeing across the area. Our camera on top of the Cornell complex has been showing that fog all morning long. It's still pretty dense across the area as well. You can see that too from MoDOT cameras around the metro. It kind of let up a bit, but it seems to be thickening back up out there, and we're going to be dealing with this fog through most of today as well. Skywatch Storm Tracker. Some showers into southeastern Kansas. We're getting drizzle out there as well. And of course, on top of that, we have that dense fog. Most of us still, visibility's less than a mile out there. So slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. Use your low beams, not your high beams. And of course, this afternoon and late through the morning, as the fog continues, make sure you turn your headlights on manually, especially if you have those auto headlights. Dense fog advisories, Missouri, Kansas until noon, and Oklahoma, Arkansas until 10 a.m. 37 in Joplin, 36 in Pittsburgh. You can see the little wet drops on there. It's because we're also getting drizzle out there just south of Pittsburgh. Fog through the day, some drizzle. Isolated showers, temperatures mid-40s, so again, almost just like yesterday. More rain on the way tonight, warmer temperatures on the way as soon as tomorrow. We'll look at all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. A Cassville, Missouri man faces felony charges for a scam in which he allegedly impersonated a law officer. Investigators say 37-year-old Gerard Archer contacted a Cherokee County, Kansas resident by phone, claiming the resident's co-worker was in custody and that the resident needed to send a bond payment. Authorities arrested Archer in Ottawa County, Oklahoma. Firefighters battle an afternoon structure fire in Coffeyville, Kansas yesterday. Upon arrival, responders witnessed heavy fire conditions from multiple sides of the building. Crews managed to extinguish the fire but remained on the scene for additional 2 hours. One occupant was transported to the hospital in serious condition. The other occupant was uninjured. The cause of the fire is under investigation. The Carthage City Council proposes a resolution to censor one of its members. The resolution is discussed in last night's council meeting. KOAM spoke to Tiffany Causey, the council member in question, and Greg Dagnan, the city administrator, before the meeting. According to Causey, the resolution is a consequence of things she said in city council meetings and posted on her Facebook page.
I feel that it's just another tactic by people who have something that they would like the public not to know. I think that they are trying to stop me from participating in city government. I think that they are trying to stop me from getting my message out. I think they're trying to stop me from asking questions.
Plan at this point is everybody from the council, because they're part of our legislative body, they did receive the information from the HR investigation. So we'll probably go into closed session just to see if they have any questions. I personally expect that to be probably fairly short. And then the actual, whether they censure or whether they don't, that will all have to be decided in a public setting.
According to Dagnan, a censor is an opinion of the council that they disagree with the council's person's actions. It needs to be passed by a majority of votes. Causey has been on the council for over a year and her term expires in 2025. Before the meeting yesterday afternoon, we tried reaching out to all the council members, but were only able to talk to 2 of them. David Armstrong said he had no comments. Alan Snow said he was not interested in giving an interview. The meeting started at 6 p.m. yesterday in the Carthage City Hall. Up next, winter can bring along a different set of injuries if you're not ready. We'll have some tips on how to keep you safe this winter. And later, leaders in Joplin art community came together yesterday to discuss how to promote the arts in the area. Anthony Saviello will have the details. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Join us for the coolest event of the year, the Polar
Lions, Niners, the NFC Championship, Sunday on Fox.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 7:10 on this Wednesday morning here in the 4 states, and we've got another foggy start. Our camera on the Cornell Complex showing the fog out there. We got a light breeze, nothing too crazy, but it is making it difficult to see. MoDOT cameras around the metro again continuing to show dense fog out there, and as we head into southeastern Kansas, the KDOT camera on 69 just south of Pittsburgh, it should load here any second. There it goes, and we're continuing to deal with the dense fog and drizzle out there as well, hence the little raindrops on that camera. So slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going, and with the drizzle falling, it means the roads out there are wet, and that increases your stopping distance. So use your low beams, not your high beams. You know the routine, hopefully at this point, with fog across the area. Most locations still reporting about a mile or less in terms of visibility, and that does include some of the major highways in our area, so we've got to be careful. And dense fog advisories once again for the entire area. For Kansas, Missouri, they run until noon. For Oklahoma, Arkansas, they will continue until 10 a.m. We're also seeing a few scattered showers out there across the area, so watch out for that because, again, that makes the roads wet, leads to some slick spots, and will make it a little harder for you to stop if you're not paying attention in the fog and suddenly there's something or some vehicle, something like that ahead of you. A broader view here showing those clouds, showing some showers. We'll get more meaningful rainfall again as we head into tonight. It's 37 in Joplin. It is foggy, calm breeze out there. Our dew point is only one off of our temperature, so our humidity up there is still 96%, so that fog is thickening back up. Out to the north and west, Iola and Yates Center still holding in the low 30s. The rest of us still kind of hovering in the mid to upper 30s across the region. As we go through today, we're going to have the clouds. We're going to have another round of fog just like we had yesterday, and we're going to have some drizzle and a few isolated showers. But again, late tonight and into tomorrow morning by the morning commute, more widespread rain showers across the area, so be prepared for that for your morning drive, and for some of us potentially even the lunch drive could still be impacted by some rain. And then after that, we're going to have mostly cloudy skies. We're going to have a few peaks of sun, and that will allow us to be a little warmer tomorrow as well. So foggy conditions through the morning, low 40s by late morning, fog, drizzle, and a few isolated showers heading into the afternoon. Cloudy skies otherwise, temperatures into the mid 40s. We'll have the fog through the evening, temperatures not moving much, and we'll fall back to the low 40s with those increasing rain chances overnight. Our Thursday and Friday are in the 50s. Mostly cloudy again on Friday, so a few peaks of sun is all we need to get a little warmer out there. And then the showers return late Friday into Saturday. Cooler a little bit for the weekend. We head into next week. Some additional rain chances on Tuesday and Wednesday. Otherwise, temperatures not bad. Upper 40s and low 50s out there with a little more sunshine as well. Let's check your forecast, and we're sending it over to Amber with Health Watch.
Some states are now easing COVID isolation guidelines and moving away from CDC recommendations. In California and Oregon, people who test positive for COVID-19 will no longer need to isolate for a set period of time. In fact, those who are not symptomatic no longer have to isolate at all. Those with symptoms can return to school or work when they are fever-free for at least 24 hours. California and Oregon are the first states to break from federal guidance, which recommends at least 5 days of isolation for anyone with COVID-19. Oregon changed its policy last May, and California changed earlier this month. Most employees will be willing to earn less money if it meant a better work-life balance. That's according to a recent survey found by Ford Motor Company of roughly 16,000 people from over a dozen countries, including the U.S. According to the results, globally 52% said they would be willing to take a 20% pay cut for a better work-life balance. When it comes to age group, millennials and Gen Z were more open to the idea than Gen X and baby boomers. The respondents consider a better work-life balance allowing them more time for themselves or for their families. Watch out for your step this winter. There are a lot of outdoor-related emergency visits along older adults this season than any other time in the year. According to a study published by the National Institutes of Health, and when it's cold out, you're also at risk for other injuries as well. Manny Gathra has more on how to avoid getting hurt in winter weather.
The icy sidewalks, the snow-filled driveways. The weather this time of year can take a toll on your body.
When you're clearing off snow, your lower back takes a lot of that pressure.
Emergency and sports medicine Dr. Mark Conroy with the Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center says to prepare your body before you clear off what winter brings.
The number one thing I recommend to people is they have to warm up. You know, you go out and it's 30 degrees or less outside. Your body's not accustomed to that temperature. Often it can be a big shock.
Conroy says to stretch and loosen up the body before going out. If you're shoveling snow, he says to push it, don't lift it. That can strain your back. Give your body a break. Don't try to do it all at once. Make sure you have the proper equipment. Conroy says a shovel with a bend in the handle can take some pressure off your lower back. Vary your movement so your body doesn't do the same thing over and over, and make sure your body is in the right position.
Feet should be about shoulder width apart. You should be bending at the knees as opposed to bending at your back, trying to keep your back straight.
And be extra vigilant where you're walking outside. Watch for ice and slippery patches. Falls can happen easily and wreak havoc on your body.
There's a lot of musculoskeletal injuries involved with falling, such as sprains, contusions, and fractures.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Conroy says to make sure to stay hydrated. When you're bundled up and outside of working, you may not realize how much you're sweating, and make sure you're drinking enough water to avoid dehydration. Coming up, Caitlin and Chucky are in the kitchen this morning. to share.
Chowder's burgers are amazing.
Hybrid Plus, no interest until January 2028 and free shipping. Hurry, the epic sell-off at Denver Mattress ends soon.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. I'm Amber Jenkins. After biking across Kansas last year, Pitt State's president has a new idea to fundraise for the school this year. Dan Shipp yesterday announced plans to golf across the 4 states. His attempt to raise $3 million in scholarships for student athletes. From May 13th through May 24th, Shipp will golf at 8 courses throughout Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas.
Spend time connecting with different communities that we missed maybe on the bike trip last year, and raise dollars for student athlete scholarships. So if you think about it, all this work is focused on bringing more dollars to support our students.
All of the money raised during the trip will support the school's Silverback Fund. People in a number of area communities have been dealing with delays in their trash service caused by the recent wintry weather. That includes some customers in Miami, Oklahoma. A trash service there says while situations like the weather and the holidays can throw off the service schedule, they recommend customers to stick to the regular routine.
Have their carts out on time. That is the big thing all the time. If they have them out, when we come by, so we don't have to try to make another trip back if their trash is missed. Yesterday with the ice, we didn't run residential route. We pushed it back a day, but it will be picked up this week. It'll just be one day behind.
Trash companies in a number of area communities have dealt with schedule changes because of the combination of factors in recent weeks. First the holidays, then bitter cold, then snow and ice. Miami, Oklahoma residents were able to give their input on a future economic development of the area. The Miami Area Economic Development Service held a public forum to discuss an action plan for Alwa County. Residents learned about the research done in the area to give thoughts on what's best for the region.
A lot of things that we need to work on. We know that we have a housing problem here in our community. We need more jobs. We need some workforce development issues addressed. We're looking at not only creating more jobs, but it's how you go about creating those jobs. Do you want more retail? Do you want manufacturing? Do you want a combination of both? So what we want to know is, well, what do our residents want?
I'd like to recognize Ms.
Some of the topics discussed include acquiring more land for industrial expansion and job growth.
And we're continuing to deal with dense fog around the area. Taking a look at our camera on the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. We've got drizzle, we got a light breeze, and we've got that dense fog out there. You can see more of it on the Metro cams from MoDOT around the city as well. That fog's still pretty dense. So remember, use your low beams, not your high beams. Use your fog lights if you have them. And with the fog expected to stick around like yesterday through most of today, you need to make sure you turn your headlights on manually, especially if you have auto headlights this afternoon. Skywatch Storm Tracker, we've had a few showers here and there. Most of us still dealing with the drizzle and, of course, the fog. Most locations, again, still reporting less than a mile of visibility out there, so slow down. And we've got dense fog advisories like yesterday. Kansas, Missouri until noon. Oklahoma and Arkansas, they will run until 10 this morning, but we'll still deal with the fog through the day. 37 in Joplin, 36 in Pittsburgh, still foggy as you can see. As we go through today, we're looking at highs right around the mid-40s, cloudy, drizzly, couple of isolated showers, and that fog sticking around. More rain on the way this evening, and we are keeping an eye on some warmer temperatures. Talk about all that in the full forecast a little later. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. Art leaders in Joplin came together yesterday to discuss strategies to advocate for the arts in our area. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
The old saying goes, art imitates life. The key to a good art project, just take the first step. For these community members, that first step is to make sure that art is continuously supported in our community.
Who better to speak for the arts than yourself as an arts lover? You know, the legislators need to hear how the arts have impacted your community. If nobody talks about it, then they'll never know, and they won't continue the funding that we get through the Missouri Arts Council for statewide funding for the arts.
This roundtable is more than just a discussion. It's a necessary step to advocate to Missouri state legislators.
We receive Missouri Arts Council grants each year, and we really count on that for our operational support. And so it makes a lot of sense for us to help Missouri Citizens for the Arts and advocate on the Missouri Arts Council's behalf to the legislature.
From art galleries to theater productions, these leaders make it their priority to see that art in Missouri gets the recognition it deserves.
So there's a lot of event-related spending when it comes to the arts. So let's just take, for example, going to the theater. Well, maybe before you actually purchase your ticket, you decide, oh, I want to look really nice. I want to buy this specific outfit to go to the theater. So you are spending money at a local boutique, finding a dress. Then you have some kids. You got to find some childcare for the kids, and you got to, pay a babysitter.
Though there might not be any singing and dancing happening right now, the first step to securing support is being taken. Reporting in Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Missouri Arts Advocacy Week is February 5th through the 9th. During that time, art representatives will make their journey to Jefferson City to speak face-to-face with state lawmakers. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on KOAM News. Motorists in Arkansas found themselves in a slippery situation from Monday's ice storm.
Pre-planning your cremation should be a natural part of life. Your loved one never leaves our care. Midland Cremation Society, Joplin.
Monday was a nightmare for drivers on Highway 59 in Arkansas. With freezing rain in the early hours, ice covered the pavement, which led to numerous cars stranded on the side of the road for hours. Rachel Williams has the story.
Monday morning, a nightmare on Highway 59. Temperatures below freezing, ice covering the pavement, and numerous cars stranded on the side of the road.
There was a few people up on 59 Highway that chose to stay with their car. They did have blankets with them and stuff. So the fire department would go back and check on them to make sure they were okay.
Butterfield District 5 is a volunteer fire department in Crawford County.
They're putting their life on the line because it was so treacherous out there, to try to make sure everybody was safe.
And to keep everyone safe, the fire department opened up as a warming center.
We started getting reports of accidents on 59 Highway between the station here and Highway 220 West. And so in response to that, we ended up coming on to around 14 vehicles that had gone off into the ditch. It was extremely slick. Even with chains on trucks, we were having difficulty getting traction and moving up and down the highway.
From 1:30 to 7:30 Monday morning, the department received 22 calls, and in those calls, 4 people were injured, and the icy roads led to slower than normal response times.
It probably took around 20 to 30 minutes for us to get on scene from the time that we started getting notifications that there were vehicles that were stranded and in the ditch on 59.
Captain Tim Jones says Monday's conditions are among the worst he's seen during his 15 years with District 5.
Well, one of the reasons why I got involved with the fire department is to help the community. It's not just helping people that are in this area. I'm also helping my neighbors and relatives and friends that live in this area.
Jones says 8 people stayed at the station overnight and into the morning, with all of them returning to their cars safely. Just around the corner, and we have some details on how much your significant other is expecting you to spend. And we welcome back Chris. We'll have another look at your forecast.
How would you like to win your own custom dream vacation to just about anywhere in the world?
Fatigue are also common. Side effects may not appear for several weeks.
I didn't have to change my treatment. I just gave it a lift.
Ask about Vraylar and learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:40 now on this Wednesday morning, taking another look at the foggy conditions from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. We're also getting that drizzle out there, so it's making wet roadways a little bit wet. So make sure, again, you're using your low beams, not your high beams. Use your fog lights if you've got them. And, of course, during the afternoon, and well, through the morning and afternoon, the fog expected to stick around like yesterday, so make sure you turn your headlights on. And if you've got those auto headlights, you're going to have to turn them on manually, because with the daylight, they're going to switch off because they don't understand that it's foggy outside. MoDOT cameras around the metro also showing that fog. We head just south of Pittsburgh, and you can see fog alert, headlights on, and slower speeds. Great advice there from KDOT, because as you can see, we're continuing to deal with that and will. Across most of the area, dense fog out there, most locations at or below 1 mile of visibility. And again, that includes a number of the major highways across the region, so you need to slow down out there. Dense fog advisories for Missouri and Kansas. These will run through noon today, and for Arkansas and Oklahoma, they run until 10 a.m., so just like yesterday. But again, just like yesterday, the fog will continue beyond the afternoon, beyond these expiration times. It won't be as dense, but we'll still be dealing with foggy conditions out there. Skywatch Storm Tracker has been showing some isolated showers, especially into southeastern Kansas out there. Nothing too widespread in terms of rain. We're going to get more of that as we head into tonight, but at least for right now, we're just looking at drizzle and a few isolated showers out there. Our camera 7th and range line, wet roadways like we mentioned, because we got that drizzle falling. It is 37 in Joplin, feeling like 37 as the wind is calm and our humidity is up there as well. Still, again, Iola now as one of the cooler locations at 33. Everybody else now, including Yates Center, getting into the mid to upper 30s out there, and we'll continue to do a little more gradual warming as we go through today. For today, though, as we mentioned, the fog's going to stick around, the clouds will stick around, the drizzle will stick around, and we could have a couple isolated showers. It won't be late until late tonight and through our morning commute tomorrow that we're going to see more widespread rain showers across the area, so do be prepared for that. And for some of us, around Stockton and Osceola, could even continue to see the opportunity for some rain showers through the noon rush. We are also going to see what we call mostly cloudy skies. See these little patches here where you can actually see the ground? That is because that's mostly cloudy. We may see a few additional peaks of sun tomorrow and even Friday, and we're going to be a little warmer as well. In the low 40s by late morning, cloudy, drizzly, isolated showers, foggy. Same thing as we head into the afternoon. The only difference is temperature's a bit warmer, but similar to yesterday. We're going to go into the mid-40s once again. Again, through the evening, we'll have some of that fog through the evening hours out there. So again, slow down, watch out. And then as we head into tonight, temperature's not moving much. We only fall back into the low 40s across the area. As we go through the next few days, again, we're going to go into the 50s. Now the 50s for our Thursday and Friday across the area. We'll have a few showers on our Thursday, and then we'll get another mostly cloudy day Friday, and we'll be dry for the majority of our Friday. And so we'll get it to be a little bit warmer, and then late Friday into Saturday, the rain will make another return, and that will cool us off just a wee bit. No Arctic blast here, thankfully, but we'll go a little cooler on Saturday and Sunday back into the 40s. By Monday, more sunshine out there. I'm not saying call in sick on Monday. I'm simply saying maybe find an opportunity to stay at home on Monday. It's going to be a great day, mid-50s, sunny skies. We'll have additional rain chances, at least some slight shower chances as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. And our temperatures, again, through the rest of the week, not bad. We're going to wrap up next week right around the low to mid-50s out there and partly cloudy skies. So looking a lot better over the next several days. And no winter precipitation to talk about, which is great news. That's a quick check of your forecast. Now we're going to send it over to Amber with a look at Consumer Watch.
Customers may be losing interest in stores with self-checkout. A study from Drexel University researchers say customers tend to be more loyal to stores that feature regular checkout, which refers to human cashiers. The study finds customers feel regular checkouts is more rewarding than machine registers because there is often less effort involved. Customers also say regular checkout makes them feel they are receiving the service they deserve. Researchers say more work at checkout provides negative consequences and make customers less loyal to the stores. Your Valentine's Day date might be expecting you to spend big bucks on them this year. A Trustpilot survey shows Americans expect their significant other to spend an average of $157.52 on their gifts this Valentine's Day. 21% of the respondents in the relationship say they also feel obligated to spend more than they can afford for the holiday. A separate survey from driveresearch.com shows the average Valentine's Day dinner costs $121 plus $31 for drinks. Collector vehicles, including one once owned by a former president, are being auctioned in Arizona. Fox Danielle Miller spoke with the people hosting the auction.
The most we've ever offered, I think the last count that I saw was somewhere around 2,032 vehicles, which is about 100 or so, I think, more than we've ever offered.
And the varieties are endless, from classics to hot rods and even former presidents' vehicles like this blue Lamborghini.
We've got a 1997 Lamborghini Diablo Roadster that was ordered brand new by Donald Trump in 1997. It's a one-of-a-kind color, special order paint. He owned the car for the 4 years and sold it at around 2002.
Because there's so many cars, CEO Craig Jackson breaking some news on AZAM this morning. There will now be 2 auctions a year in Scottsdale.
We turned away way too many cars. We asked our customers. We did October in Scottsdale during COVID. It was our first auction back, and everybody keeps saying, we loved it. You need to do that again, so we're going to do it again. You just heard it.
And there's much more than vehicles hitting the auction block. You can take home a piece of history from the Automobilia auction.
We have over 1,200 items of original Americana, everything from gas pumps, service station signs, neon porcelain signs, kiddie rides, jukeboxes, soda machines, and more. What's nice about the Automobilia auction, there's something for everyone. We have items that sell for as little as a couple $100 up to $500,000.
The show runs until Sunday at Westworld in Scottsdale. Danielle Miller, Fox 10 News.
And those are our stories for Consumer Watch. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Daisy's, where style meets comfort. Step into a world of endless possibilities as you explore our latest collection.
In college, and she's a senior citizen. Why they call themselves kindred spirits on the next Tamron Hall.
Tamron Hall, this morning at 10, right here on Fox 14.
We're now several weeks into the new year, so how's your resolutions going? If you're finding it hard to stay motivated to stick to your goals, well, you're not alone.
But for those with fitness and health on mind, dietary experts discuss some ways you can improve your snacking and workout habits to help you keep you from derailing your goals like I derailed that sentence in 2024. Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez takes a closer look.
With the new year going strong, many people are pushing ahead with their resolutions. But according to data from The Ohio State University, roughly 43% of Americans will give up on their 2024 goals by the end of January. But if your resolution is to improve your health, there's ways you can upgrade your workout and snacking habits to help prevent your goals from going off course. Research from The Ohio State University reveals snacks make up roughly a quarter of the average American's daily calories, practically the amount we should be getting from one meal.
A lot of times we eat snacks just to curb a craving and not really to help us meet our total dietary goals.
Nutritional experts say most of the snacks people eat are high in carbs, sugars, and fats, and don't contain a lot of proteins, fruits, and vegetables.
We've taken snacks and we've consumed them a little bit more like random eating occasions.
While choosing healthier snacks is important, dietary expert Chris Taylor says it's even more critical to use snacks to help you meet your nutritional needs, especially if you're also looking to boost your energy to meet your workout goals.
So if you have eaten a late dinner and then you've slept to get up to exercise in the morning, snacks can become one of those ways to help you kind of fill up the tank so that you're not going out. Helps prevent injury and helps improve your performance.
And when it comes to working out, the CDC recommends adults get at least 2.5 hours of moderate physical activity every week. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
You know, ever since January started, the new year started, the gym has been packed. I usually go after work like all the time. And like usually I go in the evenings, and I love it when it's like just me or maybe a couple other people, like maybe 15. But lately I've been going, and it's been like packed. I have to wait for the machines. I have to, there's all these guys lifting, and what I mean. So it's like,
well, it's good that they've made it this far with those
Yeah,
resolutions, because
good for
sometimes
them.
it only takes a couple of weeks. But I'm sure by the time we get about halfway into February, it's probably going to die down a little bit. I'm not saying anything negative. It's
I
just
hope so.
You folks know how it works. We make these resolutions. We get out there and we're like, we're going to get it. We're doing it this time, and we make it about a month, and then we go, all right, this is too much. I'm just going to go over and get those McNuggets and call it a good day, because it's a lot easier. I don't even have to get out of my car to get the McNuggets. I don't even have to leave my house to get McNuggets. They'll bring them to me. But I have to leave and go to the gym, and that's all the way down the street. And then there's people, like you said, and I have to wait in line. Or I can order from my phone those McNuggets. I'm going to go with the McNuggets. It's a tough choice sometimes.
It's a choice.
It's a difficult choice on occasion. Well, what is not a difficult choice is using your headlights, the low beams, not the high beams, and using them through the day, as well as we're going to deal with what you're about to see here on our camera from the Cornell Complex. It's fog. We are dealing with dense fog across the area this morning. You can see more of that fog on the Metro cams from MoDOT around the city, and still dealing with that. I mean, take a look at 20th and Rangeline. That fog thickens up pretty quickly out there. On the Skywatch Storm Tracker, we've had a few isolated showers. We're getting some drizzle in most locations. We got the cloudy skies, we got the fog, and then we'll have more rain as we head into tonight. Fog tracker still showing most of us still reporting less than a mile of visibility out there. And of course, again, that includes a number of the major highways in our area. So slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. Quick reminder, dense fog advisories, the entire region. Yesterday, by the way, wanted to point out, dense fog advisory stretched from the Canadian border in Montana down to the Mexico border in southern Texas. That's how much fog there was. Missouri and Kansas, they run until noon. Oklahoma, Arkansas, they will run until 10 a.m. 37 in Joplin, 36 in Pittsburgh. Still foggy, still drizzly out there. Fog, drizzle, maybe some isolated showers, cloudy skies, and into the mid-40s today. We'll have another full look at your forecast, plus the news you need to know right after this.
Proud to salute Rick Lee Masters, a four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Cassville, Missouri man faces felony charges for a scam in which he allegedly impersonated a law officer. Investigators say 37-year-old Gerard Archer contacted a Cherokee County, Kansas resident by phone, claiming the resident's co-worker was in custody and that the resident needed to send a bond payment. Authorities arrested Archer in Ottawa County, Oklahoma. Miami, Oklahoma residents were able to give their input on the future economic development of the area. The Miami Area Economic Development Service held a public forum to discuss an action plan for Ottawa County. Residents learned about research done in the area to give their thoughts on what's best for the region. Some of the topics discussed include acquiring more land for industrial expansion and job growth.
And we've got ourselves more fog today. Patchy fog through the day, dense fog this morning, mid-40s for our highs, cloudy, drizzly, and as we mentioned, foggy. Foggy through the evening as well. Cloudy, temperatures not moving much, going back into the low 40s with rain chances increasing overnight. We'll have additional showers for the first half of our Thursday, more late Friday into Saturday. And take a look, we've got ourselves the 50s Thursday and Friday. A little cooler this weekend, back to the 50s to start the next work week. Sunshine Monday, showers on Tuesday. So that's going to be pretty decent tomorrow and into the 50s. That's not bad. Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're going to be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and even better day for States.